everyone, welcome to Kahaniya Calling once again. We all pray, don't we? Today, let's understand the real importance and the real essence of praying. Let's get immersed in the secret of praying.
In ancient times, there was an emperor who wished to visit a Buddha temple, and one of his ministers, who was adept at flattery, told, Your Majesty, you need not visit a temple. The emperor was shocked at being contradicted. He looked at him and said, Is that so? And why? Now understand that emperors wielded absolute powers. One could get a death penalty in a moment, or one could get rewarded handsomely because he has been able to flatter the emperor. So the minister bowed down deeply and said, Your Majesty, the essence of Buddha is the compassionate nature. And Your Majesty, you are always concerned about the common people of your kingdom. Therefore, you are a living Buddha and you need not visit any temple. The emperor understood and said, Interesting. So, this reminded me of a story, and let me tell you. So, he said, there was a devout Buddhist whose only wish in life was to see the Buddha. For this, he read many sutras, traveled to many different places, went far and wide, spent a lot of time, made all possible effort, and finally, he was blessed to see the Buddha. When he saw the Buddha, he was struck in awe and he bowed on his knees. And the Buddha asked him, Why have you been looking for me? Why have you been traveling so far? He said, I have a question. Buddha said, Go on. And he said, When I am in trouble, when I need help, I pray to you, O Buddha. What do you do when you need help? Whom do you pray to? The Buddha smiled and said, I pray to the Almighty. But you are the Almighty yourself. Why would you pray to yourself? Buddha smiled once again and said, Because it is better to seek help inwards than to seek help outwards. And saying this, the Buddha disappeared in heavenly glory. So the emperor said, From this story, I have learned that Buddha lives inside each one of us. Therefore, it is understood that Buddha exists everywhere. Yet, when we go to the temple, we are praying to ourselves and seeking help from us, which is the deep Buddha deep down inside us. Therefore, I shall override your objection and visit to the temple today. So the emperor proceeded. Now, the emperor was a very wise man. He knew the impact of his not visiting a temple will be seen across, because the people of the kingdom, the ministers, his family, his friends, everybody tends to follow the emperor. So he did not let the sycophant minister influence him. Now, such emperors who were highly aware, highly conscious were few and far between. And because they wielded absolute powers, they were surrounded by ministers who could influence anyone with their lavish praises and psychophancy. Now, the journey of Buddha is common for all of us. Buddha was an enlightened being. He lives in all of us. Does that mean we need not visit any temple? We all seek help, don't we? Now, one thing that the emperor and the Buddha emphasizes that when we pray, it has to be a journey inward rather than a journey outward. This is something which is very easily forgotten by us. Now, to understand this, let's understand this that when we pray, right, we pray to a deity which we think would exist, right? We also think that the deity is hearing us. And not only is the deity hearing us, it is also listening to us. It also cares about our problems. It is willing to help, and the help will be timely. Now, the same thing, if you reflect in your life, you will know that do you care about your problem? Absolutely yes. Are you listening to yourself? Oh yes. Will you be able to help yourself, and will the help be timely? This completely depends upon you, and nobody else can decide that fact. Now, this journey of looking for Buddha inside us is a journey that we all need to go on. A lot of times, just like the emperor had these ministers, we all have these ministers in our mind who try to tell us, who try to flatter our egos that we don't need to do anything, we don't need to go anywhere, that sometimes we are all in all. But is that the truth? Are we going to get influenced by these thoughts and these sycophants? Or are we going to be wise like the emperor and go deep down into the temple where the Buddha exists? Therefore, we should all aim to visit the temple like the Buddha. Now, if there is no temple nearby, you can visit the temple in your heart, where deep down Buddha resides. We all need to understand that just like the emperor, just like the thought of Buddha, we all have complete authority over our own thoughts. We all have the ability to become Buddha. It is about us that when we take this call, how we start this journey, and how far are we willing to go.
Prayer has helped all of us in some point in time, isn't it? It is indeed rightly said that prayer is the most powerful tool known to us. Don't forget to click on the bell icon for subscribing. We will be waiting for your comments.